Alright, my name is Rick Chavez, and this is my video for Mr. Ibarra's AC class here at Rio Honda College. So my video today is going to be about blend doors, mode actuators, and the three different types of, you can say, power source that run these things, which is electrical, vacuum, and cable wire. Throughout the years, car companies have been trying out different things, and the most common thing now in newer cars are electronic mode actuators and blend doors. Blend doors they're actually, as the name says, they're doors that blend the hot and cold air that come out through the vents that the passengers feel. Mode actuators are the ones that move the flaps that control air coming from the center vents, from the side vents to the defrost, and down to the leg area. The first type we're going to be talking about is the wire kind. So in this car, this is an 81 Corolla. We have, for the mode, for the fresh air coming in and recirculating. So when I move this, you can hear the door moving, and it's all by cable. Same goes for this mode, for the vent, bi-level for hot and cold, heat, and defrost. It is a cable, and when I move the cable, there's doors inside the box that move. So the cable will move the door on different little tracks till it reaches the desired. As well, for the warm and the cool, it is a cable that goes to the blend door, and it controls how much warm and cold air the passengers feel. Other cars have vacuum actuators to control the blend door and mode actuators. This piece, for example, is from an early 2000s GM car, and this one, as you, right here, if you go all the way to the left, cold, all the way to the right is warm. And to show you how hot or cold, it's the thickness of the line tells you. So all the way to the left is cold, all the way to the right is warm, and in the middle you'll have like a middle temperature. This one controls the blend door by a cable, so depending on which way you move it, the cable will move in and out. To control which mode the air will go through, it uses vacuum. All these are little vacuum hoses that connect to each individual module. When you move the button to the desired position, it'll change, a valve will change, and it'll throw the vacuum to either hoses, which you choose. And the vacuum comes usually from the engine, so from the intake manifold, we will have a line coming all the way to inside of the dashboard to this valve, to this vacuum module, which will control the modes. Some newer cars have electronically controlled blend doors and mode actuators. This one, for example, has an electronically controlled blend door. So this mode actuator allows you to choose from recirculating to vent coming in from the outside air. It actuates this valve, goes through the cabin air filter to our blower motor, and here's our blend door. Our blend door allows us to choose between how much cold air going through the system. So it's not like it cancels off the heater or it goes completely through the AC. It does go through the same air box, so the air will go through the heater system, and the blend door just allows how open the door is, will change the temperature in the cabin. So this one is our blend door. It is the blockage between this pipe right here, our evaporator, and our heater core that comes in from the outside. Once the air blend door goes through, it'll go through some air ducts, such as this one right here, that will throw it towards the vent, towards the driver, passenger, to the defroster, to the middle vent, and it will go all the way to the back. This car, for example, this is the climate control. This one actually has a dual climate control, one for the passenger side, one for the driver side, and it'll allow you to choose hot or cold on either side, or the same temperature. These new electronically controlled door actuators, sorry, my bad. These electronically controlled blend doors are little motors that when they're activated to choose their function, they will pivot on some small little, on the little tracks, and they will move the doors depending on which way. Here's another one for the recirculating one. On the other side right here, these are the mode actuators. So this has a little bit more. These two are the main functions. You can see the tracks here and back here are to control where the air is going to come out. In this car, to measure, so the computer knows when to stop throwing cold air or when to stop throwing warm air. It uses this valve right here. This valve connects to right here, and when connected, it's almost like a little vacuum pump. It'll start sucking in the air from the cabin through this tube into the sensor. Once that sensor reaches, let's say you put the car at 61 degrees Fahrenheit, so it'll start throwing cold air, and once it reaches 61 degrees through the little valve, it'll know to stop throwing cold air and keep it at the whatever mode it is. Or in the other way, for the heater, it'll continually throw warm air until it senses that it has reached the desired temperature.